Yes, I'm a bad mom, but I own it, and I'm good at being bad.
Ooh, yes she was. I'm wrong for that, and I'm Neeks. I've got some deleted videos and some deleted messages to discuss today. One of them is the famous message that has always kind of been missing, where everyone's like, how is Cece bad on the airplane on their way to North Carolina on their last trip ever, sadly. So we're going to check out the contents of that message as well as watch the airplane video when they're on their way, because I noticed something at the end of it, and also some other weird points that I want to make. So without further ado, here's the video for you.
You want yucky?
Yeah. I want yucky.
Hold on. What you want to see? Where you are, watch. We're going up. We're going up. She's holding on for dear life. Are we up? Are you flying? Ready for bed now? Ready for bed now?
June 27, 2018, Shanann Watts says, Bella was out about an hour into the flight. Celeste fought it like hell and passed out when the plane was landing. She climbed everything, ran from the front of the plane to the back. Everyone thought she was cute and funny, just had to let her. There were other restless, exhausted kids on the plane too. She had a full-blown tantrum on the plane. I wanted to cry and laugh all at the same time. Let her do her thing and she stopped. She's not a kid that likes to be strapped anywhere for long. No, benedryl would not have helped is the hashtag. Jesus. No wonder that one got wiped. Then, of course, we have this one where Shanann indulges her audience by kind of giving us a glimpse into her possible mistake here, not giving it to her before she's actually placed and stuck in her bed where she can't get out of the room and basically forced to lay there and go to sleep. I don't know. Maybe.
Autumn, do you see the plus add?
Hold on, Cece. Where's your daddy? We gotta tell Daddy Santa was here.
Daddy didn't saw Santa.
Well, honey?
Daddy didn't saw Santa.
Daddy didn't see Santa.
No.
Hold on, kid. Bella, do you like your water bottle? The green and white camera bed. On mine, if you see, I'll screenshot this. Hold on.
Okay.
No, Cece, don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. I'll screenshot this so you'll see mine. I forget what it looks like on the other side, but on my side, you just click that add person and invite them to the call. I'll text you after this. Bella, say goodbye. Tell everyone they saw Santa with you. Was Santa at your house?
I want to see it.
You want to see what, baby?
Mommy.
Yes, baby. Thank you. So everyone have a Merry Christmas. Hopefully the Grinch isn't at your house too. We have the Grinch here.
Mommy. 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 Mommy.
There's gonna be some person who tries to say that she was just asking if the drink was in there, but I included the following pictures because she's obviously watching her mom pour a drink in the cup, so that can't be it.
Steelers, here we go. Ooh, ooh. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Ooh, ooh. Huh? I see picture. Say cheese. Aw, say here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Ooh, ooh.
Bella has been doing so good at sleeping in her bed every night, but the last couple nights, the last week, it's been going kind of crazy. So I'm going to, she's been wanting to get out. She gets out for every reason. She's being a toddler. So every night she's like, my tummy hurts, I need the medicine. So I have to put medicine on her belly every night. I figured I started doing lavender so that way it calms her down and gets her back to sleep. What do you need? Oil? Why?
Because I made Daddy's shirt.
Your belly.
They have not. That's interesting.
Cece.
Mommy will
Whoa, Cece.
cry. Always, mommy
What?
will cry.
You got my shirt in your mouth, kid.
To be told that we're doing good in life, that we're a good mom. You know, I struggle with that all the time. Sometimes I wonder if I'm a good enough mom, but I am. My kids are happy. My kids love me. Sometimes it'll get worse. I think I have two teenage girls. I have 2 girls, so I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of disliking in this house, especially once a month.
What exactly is yucky? Well, folks, I think yucky might have been nighttime medicine. So a better question is, why is Celeste asking for nighttime medicine? Well, it seems that the girls were thirsty often, so they appear to have some kind of fluid intake thing going on. If you haven't seen my episode, check out H2No. All of that information is in there. It was quite nefarious to me because we either maybe are seeing a medication addiction since, for all intents and purposes, it seems and appears that Celeste is very healthy here. And I'm also thinking that fluid restrictions would make these kids suck down something that tastes quote unquote yucky a bit more easily, no? Because this kid is excited, ready for yucky. She's in the middle of playing with Dad and asking for drink because did you notice how she did the same thing in the plane? Before Cece gets the drink, she has to agree, she's ready to go to bed. Yes, bed. And that doesn't tend to work out for her sometimes, it appears. There are a couple videos where Celeste seemed to be thirsty while playing with Dad, and just the fluid intake in general kind of makes me concerned that that might be why she's actually requesting yucky. Bella does not seem happy in that video, and of course we all know why that video is famous in this case and why she's not happy. I wouldn't be happy if the fat guy brought me a thermos and freaking slippers either. Poor little B, pouring one out for B. She does not seem happy about this drink that Mom has mixed up, but she does ask to see it. Now that I've heard Celeste possibly asking for her cocktail, it does lead me to wonder about the question of addiction here. My scales are undecided here. I'm not sure which one. She does seem pretty defeated. And then whenever I kicked up the audio, I noticed what Shanann was saying was, it's in there. As though Bella was afraid it wasn't in there. And then that heightened my addiction question again. So while I consider these to be logical speculations, it's also speculation because I guess yucky could be anything. But she happens to be asking for it at 5 o'clock, as we know that is near bedtime in the Watts home. Many times, Shanann bragged about Bella going to bed early, claiming, they didn't finish a nap, so they went to bed early today. And it's a mere hour or so before regular bedtime, even if bedtime wasn't earlier than early, the normal 6:30 that they go to bed. Shocking, I know. But the fact that she just made it on camera, and she looks down at the camera to kind of making sure, thinking about making this drink while the camera is sitting there on live. And wow. I mean, the amount of times to me that it's obvious she's giving them nightly meds and they're healthy. The 27 pills a day and the amount of things that Shanann claims she is diagnosed with make me concerned for what might be in these drinks. And again, that it might be something worse than benadryl. But it's complete speculation on my part. But we do see a mom who loves playing nurse, and a mom who probably had a stash that would knock out a horse. Fibro, lupus, these are all very painful diseases. Very painful diseases. Remember the pride she beamed with whenever she remembered that it was the anniversary of when she got diagnosed? A part of me thinks that some of that joy was coming from her need to validate her illness, but just like the Watts family, some of that joy could have been on a schedule. That body cam footage, whenever she found those meds, she's mumbling underneath her breath. I mean, YouTubers have used these and claimed that they were EVPs. She's mumbling so hardcore in this video. And then she exclaims, "That's interesting." I know she must have considered that their lives were more at stake with the acknowledgement of what a bin like that means. She instantly begins to take pictures, so we know that that's definitely something that concerned her. Not to mention every single person who was interviewed talks about these meds. Every single person who says it's impossible that Shanann ran off includes these meds in the lineup of reasons why it's improbable. It's done. Stick a fork in it. And again with the speculation, but her and Shanann, no offense to her, plenty of people have been there, and I'd be lying to say that I ain't one of them. But she's got plenty of videos with her and Nicole saying, Nicole just came from work and we're going to work again. We're going to work some more. We're not tired, etc. And no person on the product that they're selling that has ever tried it has given me the review that they have amazing energy unless they were trying to sell it to me. We already know anyone who uses that excuse is dancing around the real here. There's a lot of truth about this case, but a lot of people are not willing to look at it. And in that way, they're just like the people who are viewing the Watts family from social media. Is because everyone thinks that abused kids must be in squalor. Abused kids live in the hood. They don't live in suburbia. That's how people think. I mean, really. And the absence of evidence doesn't negate the data we have. It just simply doesn't. So when people say, oh, you can't tell from a few Facebook videos, A, it's not a few, and B, then bring something to the table that negates what is on the table. Because this is what we have on the table. Oh, well, how come their friends never said anything? Because they're just like people unwilling to accept the truth about Shanann, unwilling to say that they are sorry for what happened to Bella and Celeste by both of their parents. They're not mad about quote-unquote victim blaming, what scientists call victimology. They're mad because it's adding another perpetrator to the table. A perpetrator that they wanted to idolize. Why you need to idolize a woman whose family was annihilated, I'll never understand. It's fine to understand and see that she had plenty of good in her too, because nobody's all good or all bad. And as I said before, every villain has a sad backstory. Usually a lot of bad things have happened to them to get them to that point. And even in this case, and Chris is doping him up too. He dopes him up in plenty of videos. He dopes him up in the sitter's testimony. He dopes him up when mom's gone. He's her co-defendant in everything, and she's his. Absolutely. We can have empathy for something that has happened to all of these people. Even the murderer. Who couldn't feel sad for someone who took these beautiful little girls away from themselves? How could you not have empathy for that? Something was wrong with these guys, and that's Chris and Shanann. You can't convince me that they had that many quote-unquote happy years together, even though they obviously weren't happy years. But at one point, they desired to be with one another for their own reasons, and that includes Chris. I mean, he liked her. He liked that domineering personality because I think for him, and I think in the real world, there are battles that have to be fought. Granted, they're not life and death battles, but they're battles. Battles with the credit card company, battles with the phone company, battles with the cable. And I think plenty of times Chris utilized Shanann's domineering personalities to his benefit. So they both, I know, benefited from a lot more than that over the years, but just to name a few. And in some way, I believe that they were both benefiting from drugging their children because they both do it habitually. And why? One of my awesome members said that Bella and Celeste are put away like dolls. They're put away like dolls. A really sad thing to think about Now, I'm sure he didn't imagine that Munchausen, I'm sure he didn't even know that word and never thought that it would all come to this. But either way, I know there's some point where this man knew his children weren't sick. He knew it. I know that he knew it. I think he figured it out. But as a person who lacks communication skills in the first place, and possibly as a person who thought that this was a problem unique to his family, when truly they are a couple who are starting to be sort of recognized that women afflicted with this disorder are usually married to guys like him, and I find that infinitely interesting. They just float along, kind of hiding in the background and maybe helping dose some medicine, and in his case, clean the kids and sometimes pick up the kids, and other times drug them and put them to bed with his wife. He helped drug them and locked them away at 6:30. He helped his wife curate videos. One thing I don't understand is why many are convinced that he's any better than her as far as how much feelings they have for the kids. Because while yes, he took more physical care of them, he was their primary caregiver in certain senses and in certain ways. However, the videos to me don't really prove much except that he seems to be a little bit more self-aware about how their dynamic may look and come off. And in fact, where she would look rather bullyish without him in the background quipping, and I'm the one that's going to eat them all. If it weren't for that part, then imagine what that video would look like when it just has Shanann saying, you know, I like to dirty up every dish in the house and make him clean it. He'll do anything I say. So he did play his part in helping curate everything. So I would second guess or just sit on any bias that we may have from him being the less sadistic one. He's definitely, in my opinion, less sadistic than his wife while the girls were living. Was he more empathetic to them in general? I'm not sure. Was he? Or was he just more aware and more able to perceive how people might perceive the videos upon viewing them? And for me, it's the latter. I don't think either parent had a bond with their kids, and I think both of them just doping them up on video kind of helps prove that. I think that anyone who picks a side kind of is biased somewhere in the story and has not let go of that bias yet. And I think once we let go of that bias, some of what actually went down may start to come to fruition. I know the people not willing to look at who Shanann really was are not going to come any closer to the aforementioned. People who don't do that like to look at themselves like they are the good ones. They are so good. Praise them. They're scared to get their hands dirty, really looking at this crime and the motives that each and every player might or might not have. They want to be the good ones. They didn't divulge into any victimology. Well, my friend, I'd say that your criminological skills are at risk if you're not willing to do so. Period. That's it. You think cops don't use victimology to solve crime? You think investigators don't? Granted, these investigators kind of didn't in some areas, but you get the point. So for those that think they're good and can keep their hands clean, I'll read this. You have no enemies, you say. Alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mingled in the fray of duty that the brave endure must have made foes. If you have none, small is the work that you have done. You've hit no traitor on the hip, you've dashed no cup from perjured lip, you've never turned the wrong to right, you've been a coward in the fight.